Hello, Shaker Heights varsity baseball fans, and welcome in here to Perry, Ohio, home of the Perry Pirates. Shaker Heights here today taking on the Pirates in their third straight game against opponents in Perry's conference. We can talk more about that later, but Shaker Heights so far has beaten West Geauga. They've actually, now that I'm thinking about it, they've beaten three of them. They've beaten Beechwood, then they've beaten Chagrin Falls and West Geauga. Shaker Heights beating them all, some, if we're talking about Beechwood, included by a mercy rule. I believe it was 11-1, something of the sort. Shaker Heights winning that game, maybe 12-2. But regardless, Shaker Heights was able to get big time wins, except for the last game that Shaker Heights played. That was against the Tigers of Chagrin Falls. Shaker Heights was only able to scratch by a win just barely. 3-2 was your final there, but other than that, 7-3 against West Geauga, and as we said, a 10-run deficit against Beechwood. So coming into this one, Shaker Heights should have some momentum, but they should stand back and be a little bit cautious. Again, and only a one-run win against Chagrin Falls that last game. That was Wednesday evening. The 2 games before that, Shaker Heights had lost to Medina, their GCC rival, but now with a couple of games where they're not playing in conference in the GCC, they need to take a step back and get the non-conference wins because as actually Stephen English, the head coach of the Shaker baseball squad, has said many times over to his players, it's that these non-conference games can show you how you can compete against some of the schools when it comes into the OHSAA state tournament, which is, of course, later this month. Now, Shaker Heights coming into the month of May are 5-10. Again, 3 of those wins coming against teams in this Perry Pirates conference. So Shaker Heights knows that they should be able to beat Perry today, though of course, it's a new month of May. You can either get off to a good start or a poor start. It's up to them. We'll see how they play out here. Thank you very much for tuning in. Vaughn Ullum is on the call. What we have for you is Shaker Heights' duo. Once again, Casey Robinson, Michael Coxon, and Aaron Neiman here in the top of the first. In Perry, Ohio, my name is Vaughn Ullum. Thanks for joining us. Here in Perry, Ohio, a lovely, lovely campus. It's much more spacious, and the reason being is because just, of course, there's a lot more land to be used by the Perry High School district. Of course, the Perry School District, that is. Shaker Heights, of course, as a city, a lot more dense in space. Of course, they've got a whole lot of neighborhoods, but specifically the campus, Shaker Heights' high school only fits on the oval. And now here, Casey Robinson due up first, as we said, the catcher Michael Coxon and Aaron Neiman behind him. First pitch to Casey Robinson, down low for ball one. Casey Robinson, a guy that we say it over and over again, but it doesn't really change at all. It's the fact that Casey Robinson's bat has worked a whole lot more this season. He has just been efficient as up at the plate. This one in tight on Casey Robinson. Shaker Heights here today playing the Perry Pirates after a whole lot of rain came in, both in Shaker and here in Perry, Ohio. Of course, moving from west to east. That one up, says the home plate umpire. Starts it off 3-0 to Casey Robinson. You can imagine he'll be taking it all the way right here on pitch number 4 from Henderson, number 44 on the back of the white jersey here today. It's going to be Perry in their all white look. Here's the 3-0. That one's laid in there on the outside half. Perry in their all white uniform, except for the red caps. On the other hand, for Shaker Heights, it's going to be red caps, but red jerseys and the light gray away pants. Here's the pitch. Casey Robinson hacks at this one. Handled by the first baseman, number 0, going to temp on to first. And there, Casey Robinson started off 3-0, but then works into a ground out for out number 1. Here in the top of the first, 0-0 your score. We're just getting things started out in Perry, Ohio. The catcher Michael Coxon now due up. And talk about a guy that's really gotten his bat going. The new varsity kid this season through 15 games. He has done incredibly well, especially behind the dish this season. His bat has slowed a little bit over the past couple of games, but it hasn't been anything too concerning. He's still batting right now a solid 300 for Shaker, which puts him fifth on the team. Fourth, if we're not including Sam Luther, who has only had 2 ABs, and he's 1 for 2. Other than that, Michael Coxon, one moment, he'll take this one up high. Michael Coxon is behind guys like Braden White, Casey Robinson, Andy Berglund. And that's it. And there's a big drop off after that. The next guy behind Michael Coxon is batting 220. That's Malachi Kranz. This one cut on, skied up, out in the left field, or excuse me, right field. And this one caught by the right fielder. Routine little play for him that time for McCoon. So 2 quick outs early here for Henderson. 8 pitches bring him 2 outs. And we'll see how Aaron Neiman approaches this one. To the varsity level, and this season, like Casey Robinson had to do in the leadoff spot originally. And on the other hand, he started up his way through. Again, the left fielder going to get under and make that routine grab. Aaron and the Red Raiders go 1-2-3 up in the top of for the bottom of the first. 0-0 score after. Luke Savon, the first batter here for the Perry Pirates. Shaker Heights says Eli Stolfus to start things off on the mound. Shaker Heights again in the red caps, red jerseys, gray pants on the other side, all white. Here a black helmet for Savon. And first pitch from Eli Stolfus up high on the batter number 20 scene. In my 4 years of commentary, this one catching down low. Savon takes for 1 ball, 1 strike. Savon, the center fielder in today's game. Behind him, the other 2 outfielders for the Pirates. Next offering, this one hacked at. This one popped up. Getting under it here is Isaac Lazar. The grab as he leans over to his left and retires Savon on 3 pitches. Eli Stolfus ratio, he can keep going moving forward. Sometimes we've seen over the past couple of games that ratios have been able to get a little bit out of hand. Hasn't been anything too poor. Last time we saw Eli Stolfus, ooh, this one sent over to the right side. Handling it, here's Casey Wright. And a one-pitch, one-out situation that time for Crowfoot. Eli Stolfus' last time pitching was against Lorraine. He's going off of a start a week, basically, is what we're saying, unless he's relieving a couple times. And yeah, he's coming out of a start against Lorraine where he pitched all 6 innings they had on defense, this one in tight. And with that performance, he got the win, only giving up a hit and 1 run, which was not earned. This one catching on the right half. McCoon, the new batter. Number 3 on the back of the white jersey. Eli Stolfus making quick work of this one so far. Not the biggest strikeout guy, though he's made some happen this season. This one in tight on McCoon. Eli Stolfus in his batting, there's some room for improvement. Batting at 217 and it looks like this one ran. And so now Henderson digs in. Home plate umpire wasn't sure about that one, but we're gonna have to step aside and let that one happen. Eli Stolfus right now, 17 innings pitched throughout the regular season, working with a 2.0 ERA, which no one's complaining about here at the high school level. Here's the pitch and the throw for Michael Coxon. Oh, he's got him beat by a mile. Michael Coxon going to be able to throw out at second for out number 3. Once again, Michael Coxon making do with what he's got behind the dish, and there you go. Once again, it goes down. So Shaker Heights did have 1 runner